And then I'll put your stream up. And we are ripping. Well, there's a Kung Fu Panda ad first. So you got you and your damn monetization, Manny. Um, hell yeah. Okay.
I paid $50 by Twitch the other day, so
There you go. That's how it begins. Welcome, 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 welcome. Show both the comics off. Um, Welcome to Reading with Your Mouth, a Mouthbreathers Guild podcast. We do this live on Twitch, and then we post this to YouTube, and then hopefully we'll post it somewhere else eventually. Just still getting this going. We're excited. We're going to talk about Catwoman Lonely City by Cliff Chiang, the Black Label book that released in 2021, 22.
yeah.
But before we get into that conversation, guys, we are comic creators ourselves, and if you want to support us, support the show, I highly, highly recommend you check out our book, Renowned. Right now, our web store is down, so just contact us on social media. My links are in the bio. They'll be in the description on YouTube. You can join our Discord. That's one of the easiest ways to get in direct contact with us, community of creators. But yeah, my name's Kiwi Spicy, aka Kevin Tannhauser. And Manny Tavares is the other man on the mics. That's the man he draws on social media. We created this whole anthology, Monster of the Week, sci-fi fantasy stories in a world overrun with trans-dimensional nightmare monsters. It's up to kind of our rogue vanguard of bounty hunters and monster hunters to stop this overwhelming wave of monsters. There's some killer art. There's some fun stories. There's some Monster of the Week stuff. There's quips. There's goofiness. There's family drama. There's political intrigue. There's gross monsters that look awesome. It's one of my favorite pages right here. Boom. Check this out. Missing from the stream today is the usual Ben Hill art. You can find him on socials at Ben_Hill_art or the_Time Police. They just released page 5. Is that what he said that we should play?
Yeah, page 5.
Page 5 of their new chapter of The Time Police. It's a fun time travel buddy cop story. Definitely check that out. I don't have the floppy with me right now, but you can see the newest panels on Instagram. That book rules. Him and James are close friends of the show, of the Mouthbreathers Guild, and we wish them nothing but the best. You should go check out their book. Manny is showing over there, over above me, pointing directions. Showing it on Instagram. Check that out. It's really cool. They are super talented guys, hardworking, really nice. Support them too. There are other artists on the Discord. If you want to talk to them about their processes, talk about how you can get their art, check it out. Join the Discord. Link is below. With that, Manny's still scrolling.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, you're good. With that, we can start diving into Catwoman Lonely City. So I'll read the solicit off the back just to kind of get us warmed up. 10 years ago, the massacre known as Fool's Night claimed the lives of Batman, the Joker, Nightwing, and Commissioner Gordon and sent Selina Kyle, the Catwoman, to prison. A decade later, Gotham has banned costume heroism and villainy. The new Gotham is cleaner, safer, and a lot less free under the watchful eye of Mayor Harvey Dent and his Bat Cops. It's into this new city that Selina Kyle returns, a changed woman, with her mind on one last big score. The secret's hidden inside the Batcave. She doesn't need the money. She just needs to know. Who is Orpheus? Visionary creator Cliff Chiang from Wonder Woman and Paper Girls writes, draws, colors, and letters an unmissable artistic statement that will change the way you see Gotham's heroes and villains forever. This was originally released in 4 big old magazine prestige plus edition size pages by DC's Black Label, which just have to first shout out. This hardcover is beautiful. If you don't have it, go get it. God, I love this book. It's so good.
Yeah. Dude, even the slip or the dust cover is nice, but I prefer the taking the dust cover off because I'm a weirdo. I don't like dust covers that much, but it is a good design. But the hardcover itself is freaking beautiful.
Yeah, also really, really pretty. Love that. Black Label, they print in high quality, which is already nice. They also get just the highest caliber of artists and creators to do their books. We've sung the praises for books like Daniel Warren Johnson's Wonder Woman Dead Earth and Tom King's Human Target, which we'll definitely do episodes on both of those eventually because they're some of our favorite books. But holy crap, this book is so big and dense.
Yeah.
I don't think this episode will take a super long time, but if there were more
Yeah, I
people
don't
with
think
us
so
here to
either.
nerd out, we definitely would, because there is so much in here to kind of dissect and analyze. I mean, right off the bat, just the fact that, well, one, Cliff Chiang, if you haven't read Paper Girls, holy crap, go read Paper Girls. It's so good.
Mm.
Um, he's got a bunch of other credits, but the fact that he
No,
wrote, drew, inked, colored, lettered, and did 2 covers every issue is absolutely
yeah,
bananas to me.
yeah,
That's why it took him like 3 years to do this book, basically, because this was supposed to come out in 2020. Didn't
yeah.
make it
And then
until
like pandemic and stuff went down, and that kind of put a weird put all publishers in a weird position. Um, and also like Cliff Chang is known for Paper Girls, but also did a pretty good run on Wonder Woman for DC
yes,
as well. And his art is clean, like designy. Um, it's so fucking tasty. I
his
don't know.
his colors, man, his colors are the thing that
Yeah,
always like stands out. I mean, he's an incredibly talented artist and writer from this story,
yeah.
but just man, the colors in his books always pop. I'm just
Mm.
consistently impressed by what he's able to do. He's kind of like, this is like the perfect story for him that really I think encompasses all of his like multitudes as an artist in the way that he's able to
And his
weave.
interest and stuff.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he can weave so many different eras throughout this book's style, which I just think is really cool, which is kind of like
Yeah.
thematically necessary for how much it goes back and forth between like back in the day and like reminiscing on the golden age of superheroes. It almost start, you get like little bits of Batman 66, like Julie Newmar, like
Yeah.
Catwoman. You get like Michelle Pfeiffer sort of stuff in here, and you get this totally new. Um, I think she's supposed to be 55 canonically in this book.
Yeah, yeah, he's 55. Batman's like 59 or something. Um, so like I know the continuity in Cliff Chang's head was just like year one is where it starts, and then we go from there, and then like let's see the world like Gotham without Batman. What happens then is basically the premise of the book, and like what happens with Catwoman in that dynamic kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like The
So
Dark Knight Rises, but not pro cops.
yeah, right.
Which is like what I really like about this book. There's so much I like about this book because it's not just like the
Yeah.
Batman mythos, but there's honestly Batman is a very small part of this book, even though he's kind of like the red
Really,
herring
yeah.
of it.
Like the
Like,
catalyst that really like starts everything off, or that's the reason why everything's that way, right? It's like
yeah,
the feud between Joker and Batman, and then anyway, we'll
no,
get into it.
totally. You get that, and you also just get like all these different villains who show up, Killer Croc and the Riddler and others.
Dude,
Um,
Killer Croc is like one of my favorites. I
he's
feel like,
so good.
yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, we can go into just kind of before we start diving in, like kind of issue over issue and like different sequences we love. We can kind of just go general thoughts here.
mhm. I do want to point out that this like design with her walking down the alleyway, I feel like is that ripped right out of year one when Bruce Wayne is walking down the city of Gotham like at night, like
Oh
his
wow,
his first like his first scout mission basically, when he doesn't even have the bat suit yet. It's just like ski mask and trying to fight people and then he gets stabbed.
dude, it might be. I mean, yeah,
I think that's it if my memory serves correct, but he's just homaging. Like there's so many homages in this thing, especially like Cliff Chang's a big film guy too, and you probably noticed like a lot of things that he's homaging to from like classic heist movies and stuff. As I know he was talking about that in some on the off panel
yeah,
interview.
definitely,
Um,
definitely a lot of
yeah,
like French '60s cinema going on like all over this
yeah,
book, which is like really rad. Movies
yeah,
like Le Samurai,
uh huh,
and like and then even like not French, but kind of, but The French Connection.
yeah,
Definitely a big influence on this book, which is so good. Um, yeah, I love. I mean, you Manny knows this about me, but you put anything, you make anything a heist plot, and I'm all in. My
right,
favorite story structures. There's just always fun. I love the way the see a plan come together. I love
yeah,
everything that can possibly go wrong. I love the puzzle kind of solving and piecing together aspect of heist stories, and I really think
Right.
that this one does a great job
Dude,
of
yeah. What a crew.
constantly, like, yeah, the crew is great, the dynamics between everyone are great, the like social commentary and like emotional motivations are great.
Yeah.
I think the way that it escalates issue over issue is fantastic. Like the stakes are always
Dude.
present.
Yeah. It's like, dude, it just doesn't stop. Like,
And it keeps getting
oh,
crazier and crazier. We'll dive into it once
yeah.
we get into like the fourth issue, but just like the fact that it goes like, okay, it's just kind of like gritty street level. Then we're incorporating like more villains into this. Now there's like in issue 3, there's like, is there a mole in the group? Everything's going wrong. And then like the fourth issue is just like pure mysticism, crazy over the top superhero fights, like in just the
Right.
best way. Like it's just like such a good catharsis. Everything that happens in the Batcave, is so
Yeah.
rad.
I feel like this is the opening up too. I feel like is another homage to year one with the braka that when the cops shooting at Catwoman, you know,
Yes.
when Batman is behind the pillar and all the cops are shooting at him. Now I could just be piecing that in there as a coincidence, but you know, braka is like my favorite scene. I specifically remember the lettering in that scene,
I
and
also
I
just get
love
really
it so
excited
much.
anytime I see braka
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
onomatopoeia. It's so good every time. That's how I know it's like, oh yeah, it's just a hail of machine gun fire. This is the exact sauce I
yeah,
needed. This is what I
yeah,
love.
exactly.
Um, God, yeah. I mean, the vintage Catwoman costume in that shot is fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
so good. The colors are amazing.
and
Oh my
then
god.
you turn the page and it just goes back to that muted, dull,
Yeah,
like.
but it still looks fantastic. Like, damn it.
Well, it's also like the amount of detail that goes into every panel of his, and
Yeah,
like
the
him
way
like
he's
really
drawn.
maxing out on how much you can fit on a page in a good way, like in a way that
Yeah,
never seems too busy. It's just like
yeah,
dense
and
in
this
the best
prestige
way.
format is so good. And like one of my other favorite bits is the TV, you know,
All the
and then the
TV
dialogue from the
sequences, yeah,
TV
with the lettering of
is
like the
like the
font.
dialogue you see. Yeah, yeah, it's like the dialogue you would see like on the teleprompter or like whatever, like that you would see on a television screen, you know, as the newscast is going or whatever. And then there's a part later on in the book where it's that, and you also get like the Spanish translation underneath in yellow, you
Mm.
know? And I was just like, that's such a cool touch. Like, wow. Because usually it's just you put a different word bubble around it, and then it's, you know,
Yeah,
they're
you
speaking a
put like
different
the
language.
brackets or whatever, or like
Yeah,
asterisks to be like, oh, this is
yeah,
in this language.
yeah, it's great.
No, and I mean like, and of course, like I don't know if it's just me and because I love that book so much, or if it's just like that's how like omnipresent the homage is. But Dark Knight Returns is just like if you're doing a
Mhm.
talking head on TV, like you just owe Frank
Right,
Miller a
yeah.
debt, or maybe like even a little bit of Alan Moore with Watchmen because that's in there too. But like I always think of the talking heads in Frank
hmm
Miller's books. Like he just nails those.
It's
Um,
like Frank Miller was doing it, and then there's a few other like Frank Miller's in the same studio as oh man, another artist that he was doing the similar stuff at the same time, and I'm forgetting his name. Oh Jesus, it's like a classic. Anyway, never mind. We'll keep going. It'll come to me at some point. It'll come to me at some point.
oh
Uh,
man, but this book, like I love how much like Cliff Chang talks about this in his interview on like off panel, which we're gonna reference off panel a lot because we just listen to it religiously, and it's such a great way to get insight into books and creators. But like, I
yeah.
loved hearing him talk about like how there was so much opportunity to like add to the Wonder Woman canon, like or not Wonder Woman, Catwoman canon. Like
Yeah.
because she's like so like she only has a few traits that you really know about her like consistently. So it's like anything goes from a creative perspective. Like you can really like expand upon that, but like dig really deep into things. Um, yeah, I'm like I've always enjoyed Catwoman stories, but like now I'm like maybe she's one of my favorite characters. Like maybe this is like maybe I need to go read a bunch of the kind of key books. Ben gave me his like When in Rome book, the Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb book.
Yeah, yeah, I got that recently as well. when we were at Acme.
Oh, they had it?
Yeah, they had it there, so I
Dang.
picked it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to give that a read. I have Ben's copy, but I also want to read all of Brubaker's run. Um,
Oh yeah, same. With
but
that's with Darwin Cook, right?
yeah, I think Darwin Cook did like
Yeah,
the first bit. I don't know if he did like a long run with Brubaker on that. Like might have been just been 6 issues.
that's crazy.
I mean,
Darwin
Darwin
Cook's
Cook.
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he does long. I mean, he's talk about dense artwork. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Yeah.
master, and you don't rush his work, and you let him do whatever he wants.
For real.
Selena Kyle, she gets out of prison. No one's wearing masks anymore. I love that political kind of commentary that was unintentional with the pandemic. Like, there's no
Dude,
way he would have known
yeah.
that.
No, yeah, it was like as it was going down or right before it was going down, then like, masks are a serious thing everywhere because of the pandemic, and then he's working on the book at the same time. He's just like, okay, well, this is hitting a little different now, you know. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
So much about it. Police brutality and the
Yeah.
government and vigilantism and fascism. Like, there's
Mhm.
always, I mean, with Batman, always there's some little sprinkling of fascist commentary, like in there,
Yeah.
like how superheroes aren't necessarily a net positive for the world,
Right.
and can
Yeah.
quickly be used as like an allegory for fascistic kind of worldviews. And that's what I love about Catwoman is that she kind of, even in the most of those stories, she like ends up kind of towing a line. God, we're both kind of
Mhm.
flipping through that scene where she goes back to Wayne Manor. I love that she sneaks in, breaks in,
Yeah. And
just to
then
leave
dips out.
flowers on the
Hey,
graves.
sorry, is off limits. And the dude's like, oh. Staring at the graves.
I mean, I love that also just as that touch to know like all these people are dead. Um,
Yeah.
like just a
Yeah.
great way of telling that part of the story because we'll get to that later with Bruce. And then she goes to see the Penguin.
Dude,
You
an
know,
old penguin.
yeah,
Old little penguin, man.
old Penguin not giving out loans for crime. Not gonna
Yeah.
even risk it.
Yeah, it's like, I know you. Like, this, I'm not doing it. It's,
And then, yeah,
it's
yeah,
Mollywop.
you can work as a hostess, especially if you break out the old cat suit. You know the one. Yeah, great. And then you get to see Catwoman in athleisure. She's in like a hoodie and
Yeah.
like sneakers, and I love that she just goes into the Gotham Central to steal like Batman files, basically.
On
Uh,
top of that, taking pain meds
yeah,
because, she's aged, right?
she's
So,
55 trying to do parkour.
yeah, it hits a little different.
I love anytime we get a superhero story. Oh, Brock's in the chat. Hell yeah, Lurkin, me
Yeah,
and Manny. We appreciate the love.
yeah, dude.
Brock, have you read Catwoman Lonely City? This book is insanely good. We're
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna talk about it. It's Cliff Chang doing everything, writing, drawing, inking, lettering, coloring, the whole thing. It's nuts how good it is.
Well,
Um, but yeah, I love seeing superheroes do mundane things. I love when they're old and like have to take pain meds. Um, my stream
like
title
the
says minor
knee
threats. Oh
stuff.
my god, it does still say minor threats. I edited that shit. That's so annoying. I'm gonna change it right now. I already did this
Mm.
change. That's so annoying.
Oh, yeah. Gotta press update like twice.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
No matter. Okay, there it is. Finally. Gah, gah. Brock, thank you. Yeah. Anytime they're doing mundane things, putting on their shoes, taking pills, brushing their teeth. I love the quiet, lonely moments with superheroes that make them not feel like DC's whole thing is like, they're gods amongst men, but never Batman. He's very human.
Oh, man. Yeah. So good. I love the hint of orange when she's sneaking in. It's like this whole page is blue, and then we get orange right there in like the exit door, and
Yeah.
then the orange is shining on her a little bit, adding that little flavor of color to like show interest or like you know make the eye go to a certain spot, like the doorway when these guys are walking in, and then boom, then there's the red pen that just like pops out.
Well, there's
It's
like
just little.
it's such a cool way to do it because like think about like kind of like how you would cover like a stealth scene, just generally,
Yeah.
and instead of using
Hmm.
like dark and light and like values, like using color contrast to like communicate those
Hmm.
ideas is like a really good idea. Like take notes for Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even video games follow the light.
Follow the light, but not even like it's not even necessarily that much higher value in the frame. You know,
Right.
the stair panel in the corner is, but that doorway, like
Yeah.
just the color makes
So
it pop,
nice.
pop, pop. And then the
Yeah.
lights in the city on the next page, like coming through the windows, is also really great. To kind of
Yeah.
continue that blue and orange theme. And then we go straight
Warm
into our
against cool.
yeah, dude. We go straight into the talking heads on the news, man. And I think that's like a
Yeah.
really clever way to like also dump a ton of dialogue without it feeling like you're just reading, you know? Like
Yeah.
with avoiding that like Walt Simonson, Jack Kirby thing where there's just like a wall of text between the panels.
Yeah. But I mean, like with these, like you got to be smart with it too, right? Because like these aren't just talking heads that are just taking up space. Like we're figuring out who Harvey Dent is now. He's a politician. He's been using that like skill that he's built up for so many years, right? And now he's coming back in the game, but now he's like running for mayor and shit. And we get little bursts of who he is or who he's trying to make everyone think he is on the screen. you
Oh
know
yeah, I mean, there's no better
so
Batman villain to be a politician than Two-Face. You know,
right,
they're literally
right.
two-faced. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's so good, and it's also like a
It
great way
is.
of like providing all of that world building and lore of like what actually happened and how did we get here, without
Yeah,
it feeling like, oh, 10 years ago this happened and then this happened and now we're here. It's
right.
like the
Yeah,
the kind of diegetic conversation just really works.
just get little tastes of world building going on with those TV bits. Great.
And then bam, we get some Barbara Gordon, some Batgirl content. She's still in the
No.
wheelchair, but they kind of invert the story a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, playing with the old, keeping the new.
Yeah.
Um, she's a politician. I also love one thing I pay attention to a lot in coverage with like scenes with people who have glasses on is like
Mm.
when their eyes are in and out of frame of the glass.
Oh
Like
yeah.
like where you just get the solid reflection and you don't see her eyes versus like
Yeah.
when it matters you see the eyes come through. I love that coverage.
Yeah. It's also like if the light hits it a certain way, like
Yes.
sometimes the eyes do go away, in real life when you're talking to a buddy with glasses on or whatever, and then boop, there goes their eyes, and then they're back. I don't know. It is an interesting thing to do. It's definitely a fun thing to do, um, and I definitely enjoy it, especially with the difference of color making those eyes pop like that, or the lenses pop like that. It's fantastic.
Mm. And I also love Barbara Gordon being used as like kind of like Catwoman's like foil, like how to do everything that Catwoman's trying to do, but through the system, through the machine, like doing things the
Right.
right way. Like
Yeah.
that's like a common trope in Batman stories, how like politicians and police officers are trying to do the right thing without having to be like a fascist vigilante, like just beating
Yeah.
the shit out of people in shadows. Like it's like, no, we need laws, you fucking animal. Like, and he's just like, I am vengeance. They're like, what the hell is this guy's deal?
Just wanted to get a Twinkie, man.
And then, of course, after that exchange, we go to the bar. These are my favorite places in any comic book. The bar with no name, the stock pot, just the bar where all the villains hang out, and it's just henchmen. And they call Killer Croc by his name, Waylon. Like, it's just like
I apologize to Waylon.
he looks
He's just drunk in the
he's wearing
corner.
flip flops, like he's wearing slides and joggers and a big wife beater, dude.
Just a soprano, just sitting there.
Wearing his Mets jersey. You know,
Yeah.
it's the Gotham Knights, but we know what it is. It's just an old bastard from Queens sitting there.
Yeah. I mean, Cliff Chang he lives in New York, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure. So, like, his love of the city definitely shows through, and, like, his experience with it definitely shows through this book. And I know, like, he talked to Jason Latour on an interview and was basically diving into a little bit on, like, how he loves the city and, you know, lived there, doing comics, like, based off that. And you can definitely feel that through this book, which is great.
100%.
What you know, write what you know. So.
Why do we always write stuff about monsters and demons? That's what I want to know.
Huh?
Why do we always write stuff about monsters and demons?
Because we think we're a monster and demon, dude. Think about it.
I guess I know that.
Am I a monster? Anyway.
Why do I always write books with dudes hanging dong, dude?
I hang dong.
I hang dong. I just stand in the nude, looking pensive. I don't do anything else.
Oh man. But yeah, Croc is great. We love Croc, especially him getting fat.
Yeah, he's got like a hip injury and concussions.
Yeah.
And he's like working private security. He's like a bouncer now, basically.
Yeah. You just see like the age, you know, like everyone in their prime was trying to rule the world, right? Now they're just like, I'm just a bouncer now.
Yeah,
whatever.
dude.
Like, yeah.
That's fine with me.
Big old beer belly. Yeah.
Again, the slides, dude, they kill me.
Yeah.
He's wearing open-toed shoes. I mean, I guess he doesn't need shoes, but
Oh, yeah. He just swims in the sewers, isn't it?
And I love that, like, her and Harvey have that old rapport. You know, it's like there's like he comes in as the mayor or whatever, and no one gives a shit. You know, they know 10 years ago they used to just like be like buff bodies for this guy. You know, just absolute goons.
Yeah. Oh man, and you choose. I love that.
I mean, and choosing in the next page too with the corner panels where it's just his you know, zombie side, his burn victim side is really sick. It's a really great way to cover that. You get so much out of that. Buys them all around, you know, politics.
Right.
I love the conversation on the next page where they just it's like her face and his just cutting back and forth, and he's just stone faced as it like zooms in closer to her.
This is how I imagine you know, corpse fucker.
Exactly. Stone face, and then you just get the smile and the laugh on the next.
Yeah, that's it. I just imagine, like, in this bit, you know, like the Croc might just like wiggle his nose, like, you know, deep breath or something. Not even a deep breath, just like a just looking at her. And then the big smile on the next page.
Yeah, dude. The belly laugh, and then he asks her for a place to crash, dude. That's so good.
I didn't really stay the eyebrows.
He looks sad. He's like he looks like Hopper, dude. He looks like a pit bull. Like he's just like a sad, mushy dog. Hilarious. Absolutely brilliant. And then we get her back out, but her boots are worn out and her costume doesn't fit right, and she's out of shape. And she's trying to break in back to the Gotham Central. I love that her costume has a tail. Like, does that do anything? Does that have any purpose? It's just
balance,
good
dude.
as hell. It's not vestigial. Like, it's not prehensile.
You wouldn't understand.
I just feel like if I was like trying to be a jewel thief and I had like a tail swinging around behind me, just like batting into stuff and setting off
Yeah.
alarms, dude.
Might be a little impractical. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe she just needs the extra challenge.
It's comics. We don't need to get too far
Yeah,
into it.
right.
The whip, the
And the
part.
giant whiskers too, right? So, but anyway, yeah. Then she's slipping, sliding, losing her balance. Been a while. But yeah, this freaking tale is so funny.
Mm.
Good way to lead your eye, though.
It is good. I'm sure that's just like probably a choice made. It's like I just feel like there should be something on this part of the page. So like we're just
Right.
gonna add this in to like break shapes up and like lead the eye.
Yeah.
Because he does it really well on that next page in that bottom right corner panel where she's running through the stacks of filed books. Like that just adds a lot of character to that silhouette.
Yeah.
That's really effective.
Mm. Goodness.
Yeah, dude. Uh, yeah, her frantically going through the box and finding that batarang. I love that as a token. And then we get the reasoning behind it, and we get that first shot of Bruce actually dying. It's like,
Oh shit.
like he's fucked up, dude. Like he's not doing good. Like straight up. And then yeah, I love that whole splash with the chopper. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah.
It's killer.
The smoke, you can feel the movement of the air, all that, all the debris. Fantastic.
Again, insane colors the way this pops with all the reds and the yellows.
Yeah. It's intense, you know. It's hot. It's heavy. Shit's going down.
Orpheus.
Yeah.
I should have done my research about the actual myth of Orpheus and what that actually thematically has to do with this, because that's a bad writer in me not knowing all the myths. Give that a quick Google. I'm gonna Joe Rogan this one.
Hey, Kevin, just you look that up? No?
Yeah. Whoa, that's crazy. Jamie, pull that up.
Yeah.
Orpheus was a Thracian bard, legendary musician and prophet. He was also a renowned poet. According to the legend, traveled with Jason and the Argonauts in search of the Golden Fleece, even descended into the underworld of Hades to recover his lost wife Eurydice. Ancient Greek major stories about him centered on his ability to charm all living things, even stones, with his music. His attempt to retrieve his wife Eurydice from the underworld, and his death at the hands of the Maenads of Dionysus, who got tired of his mourning for his late wife. For Greeks, he was the founder and prophet of Orphic Mysteries. What is that? He was credited with the composition of Orphic hymns, Orphic Cognaga. Probable suggestion is that it is derived from a hypothetical Greek root meaning orphan, servant, slave. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Many believe that other writers actually believe that Orpheus was a real person. Interesting.
Huh.
He was one of the handful of Greek heroes to visit the underworld and return. That seems thematically relevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
His relationship with his wife also seems relevant in terms of the love and connection that Batman has with Catwoman.
And diving back into the underworld and returning, pretty much Bruce Wayne going, into Gotham as Batman, that could do that. Or it could also be, the death and, revive of things. Like the Lazarus Pit kind of thing.
Yeah. And that definitely dives into the Lazarus Pit at the end. Seeing if there's any common themes through his poems or hymns. Just doing deep dives real quick, trying to scan Wikipedia as fast as I possibly can.
Hurry!
I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, Greek myths are just so good to pillage for your own, because it's something that we all know, but we don't know. Even if you've never heard the myths, the myths have been retold through so many different media outlets, different stories, movies, books. You know these stories even without knowing these stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to dive into this later, but just the idea of him going back for his wife. I mean, going to the underworld and back to save his wife from Hades. Huh.
Mm.
Ovid also recounted that Orpheus had abstained from the love of women either because things ended badly or because he had sworn to do so. Yet many felt a desire to be joined with the poet, and many grieved at rejection. That
Yeah,
seems like right on the nose for this story.
yeah,
Whether and I like that, like with that interpretation, like Orpheus could be Batman or it could be Catwoman, depending on what you're looking at. That's
yeah.
that's a really interesting interpretation. Hell yeah.
I like that.
I like that a
I
lot.
like
I
that
like
a
when
lot.
writers are smart, smarter than me.
Like,
um, issue 2, collecting strays.
yeah,
God, the colorful just explosion of panels and shapes and lines going everywhere with the
I love
Joker's
this
Fool's
page
Night.
too.
Oh yeah,
This
that
like
one is
cover,
really
yeah,
cool.
that's
She looks
great with that
great.
circle right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the
cool.
Green Lantern ring in her hand.
Yeah, book 2,
Dude.
collecting strays. Just shape language going on, and you get it.
Well, I love this
You
overall
take away
structure.
those like you take away those little freaking bridges and stuff, and it's just like weird shapes. But then you add those bridges and everything, and it's freaking factory. Crazy
Yeah.
silhouettes, strong. I like it. But yeah,
It's so
this is a
simple.
wacky page right here with
Well,
all the chaos happening.
and even before, just
Wow.
like diving in, like I love the idea, like the structure of this book is like issue 1 is like where we're at now. Like not
Yeah.
diving too deep into everything that happened, but sprinkling in just enough to kind of set you up for where you are. And then in the
Yeah.
second issue, we actually backpedal to explain like how Gotham got to this place. And of course, it's basically the ending of Todd Phillips's Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Like it's
Right.
just that where all the
Yeah.
people go crazy wearing the Joker masks. Like it's the same idea. Um,
Yeah.
which has definitely been in other comics too. And I love the next page where you get the Bat family swooping in, dude. Nightwing looks so
Yeah.
good in the background here.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Love it, man. That's great. Fantastic.
Croc snoring on the couch kills me, dude. That's so good.
Zzz.
Change the color temperature
Coffee.
a little bit, make it a little bit better to see. I feel like the warm light I was putting on here wasn't giving you enough of the colors. Um,
Dude.
yeah, way to
Love those colors.
win over Babs with the giving her the pipe, Gordon's
Right.
pipe. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
And then I love the friendship montage where they're training, dude.
Dude, yeah.
So good.
All stretching. And I love this panel when he's looking at the sludge. all, all of it. I'm gonna drink all of this. And then they're sleeping and they're just like shoulder to shoulder. It's great.
Dude, it's so
Just
sweet.
friendship.
Who doesn't
Yeah.
flush?
Sorry.
And I
Oh
love the
man.
world building we get in this issue with her, all the people she knows. Like she knows Barbara, she knows Killer Croc. Like in the first issue, comes into this one, knows like all the people who like run this like sneaker store. There's probably some Catwoman comic I don't know of, and I'm just being the ignorant one
Yeah.
here. But like with this character, it's not. But it's not so much information that you couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the sneaker heads trying to rob the store. I love the idea,
Yeah.
like, I love in superhero comics when like superheroes are like directly like a part of the culture. People wear the shirts and buy the shoes and
Yeah.
I love that. Like the Flash skateboards on the wall.
Yeah. Just like a branding thing, like everyone's got like they're selling plushies and stuff of Superman, Wonder Woman in the background, Batman, all that. Like this would definitely happen. I mean, we look at our like we watch our sports and stuff. We got their jerseys, their bobbleheads, and all this. Like, it would definitely be like bobbleheads of
Dude,
Superman.
Batman's not
I mean,
even
there already is,
real.
but
Batman isn't even
yeah,
real, and there are Batman shoes and skateboards and
yeah,
like
it's true.
shit.
It's true.
You know?
But like, even so, we would be like all about it. I mean, already are, but just imagine if it was real.
Yeah.
Like,
Always my favorite. One of my favorite tropes in the world is businesses that are secretly fronts for crime operations. Like, they walk in the
right?
back of the shoe store. There's a whole thing going on back here.
Yeah,
I love this panel cutout when they talk about Catwoman. Like when she's like, "Oh, yeah, I used to have one of your posters in my room," and it cuts to that panel of her down here, and
yeah, and he's like, oh,
but it even like the texture on that panel is like newsprinty. It feels very
yeah.
like early '90s Batman. Like,
Yeah, and I know Cliff talks about that. Like he did the same sort of processes, or like he used similar processes and textures and stuff for that image. Like he wanted it to feel old,
what a
so he
genius!
did it. Yeah, I was like, there's a reason. Like that. That's one thing that's fantastic about this book. Like every panel, every character, everything in the background, like it's there for a reason. And he makes that apparent in the interview as well. And it's like he's not just doing it for fluff. He's doing it because like there's a point for it for this story to keep moving forward.
Super deliberate. Yeah,
Yeah.
just everything. Like, and I mean, you read this book, like you read 5 pages of it, you go, "Oh yeah, I understand why this book took like 3 years to make." Like, beyond just
Yeah.
one guy doing it. Like, even if he had a team, like I wouldn't be surprised if it took that long. Like
Right.
it's so
Yeah.
much.
I'm just wondering like what other stuff in the backgrounds, like with him being so deliberate with his choices, like I'm sure there's other stuff and other homages that I'm missing,
Yeah,
in this book.
he's mentioned like there's like lots of old New York politics like things that he's referencing in the background, and I'm sure there's like details to
Uh,
like Batman lore that I don't even know about. Um,
yeah.
just her with the cat. I mean, our first exposure to Eddie Nigma, old Riddler.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic. I love that his daughter is dressed in his colors, the green and the purple,
Right. Yeah.
right behind him. That's a
Really
really
good touch.
great touch. And then, another one of his panels with, back to that 90s style with the newsprint texture, like on the next page
Yeah.
is great. When they flash back.
Dude, I swear, like when I was reading this, I was like, "Oh, Ben's in the comic."
I love that.
Look at him go.
Dude, I mean, I like Silver Fox, like Conan O'Brien looking Edward Nigma.
Right, man. It's so good. I love this character.
I love that he's not completely insane. Like,
Yeah.
he's like a guy who had a wife and like his marriage didn't go well and she died, and he's got this daughter that he's trying to raise right. But he's
Yeah.
also like a single man, and they have this like big flirt session.
Hmm.
I love their reminiscing. Yeah, fucking Bane. Like, it's hilarious. The timestamps to kind of demonstrate how long the night goes and how they're just talking like old friends for
Yeah.
hours is like
Like
a great way.
college friends, talking
Mm.
about all the stupid shit they did back in the day. Great.
Turn the page. We go back to Julie Newmar. Look at that
Yeah.
Catwoman, dude. Oh man,
It's so good.
the clearly leather suit. The jewels. Even 66 Batman with the blue underwear. Like
Yeah. Yep. Look at that.
30 years ago. This is like year one, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Just that suit is so great. And her hands. The lettering is incredible, man.
Oh yeah, that
Really.
onomatopoeia on Crash.
Yeah. It's the way like you know which one to read first, right? There's no confusion to anything. Like he's completely designed this book. And I know Cliff Chiang used to be an editor. I think that was like one of his first jobs
Yes.
as a in the comics industry. He was like an assistant editor for what publisher it was? Do you want to know what
Thought it was
company it
DC.
was or
Or no, it
it
was
was
Vertigo. It
DC?
was Vertigo. That's who it
It
was.
was Vertigo. But okay, yeah. So he's like looking at all these books. I'm sure he's taking notes on lettering and all this. I mean, especially just being a comic fan, you like if you're a maker, you're gonna be paying attention to this stuff, right? So, I mean,
Dude, just like the line work on Like the way that this whole sequence where he's pulling the jewelry or she pulls the jewelry case down. Like I love the way that your eye kind of tracks with the whip and like it just all follows in a really frenetic, like fluid
Yeah,
motion. It's so good.
yeah. And then it leads right to the feet on the next panel, and they're good. Or they're getting a little wacky.
Getting a little wacky. Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
constant flirt. Yeah, the
Yeah.
mask comes off. Mm. Live a little, Batman. I love, and infusing in the next page when they're in her like suite, infusing the old with the new. How he's got that like 3D hologram plant like layout of where they're going to be breaking
Yeah.
into the Batcave, and how they need the Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
And that's my
Yeah, I
favorite part
love
of
her
heists.
hairstyle.
Is
Yeah.
every heist, there's always got to be a smaller heist leading up to the first, like the big
Yeah.
heist. There's
You
a
gotta get the
couple,
little things, Little things lead to the big things.
and you like see how like the skills that work together in the small ones slowly build and get pieced together to be like
Right.
ultimately usable for the big heist. Like it's a very clever trick in the genre. Like it all feels like this is how we're gonna do it, and this is why it's gonna go to plan because we saw it work here, so it'll work there. And then of course it never does. That's how heists are interesting, is that everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Tension, stakes.
Gosh.
I love him and the dude. Killer Croc in the tracksuit is, and he's wearing the telepathic ape instead of like the Bape because it's like Gorilla Grodd is so
Yeah.
so good. I love Gorilla Grodd, dude.
Oh man. Nina's freaking suiting up there. That's great.
Star Labs, and we see the beginning of her like athleisure suit too, where she's like
Yeah.
got the Lululemon pants and the New Balance shoes, basically.
Yeah. Trying to stay comfy,
Yeah,
She's older
definitely.
now. She can't be putting on those uncomfortable outfits anymore.
It's true. She's old. She's 55.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
She's gonna wear leather and latex?
No,
It's not happening.
no. Give me those shoes with the nice cushion. I want to walk on a cloud,
That's
please.
right. I'm 28 and I want to walk on clouds and wear Lululemon, dude.
Right.
I'm not trying to wear
Yeah.
latex.
Dude, these like cop things like telling her to surrender the ring. Just
Yeah,
like these little transformer guys just floating everywhere.
it's rad. Yeah, the Mega Man guns on their arms.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the onomatopoeias as she's jumping over the cars. Zap, zap, zap. That's
Yeah.
great. And using the Green Lantern ring to teleport. Rad. Everything's
Yeah.
great. This is when everything's still pretty fun. The stakes are just still building. We're getting that lore of the city and what's going on in the background starting to pepper in as we go through, and how this is starting to go bad for Harvey Dent. As Catwoman succeeds, that means Harvey Dent is failing, and how he reacts to that and spices up the plot is just more and more interesting. It's like how that rise to fascism kind of really happens with like opposition rising, and how do you keep things under control as you just enforce curfews and bat cops and start killing protesters or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's nuts. Oh god, the coloring on this next page where they're trying to recreate the Batmobile is so good. The reds and the blues.
Oh yeah.
This is so beautiful. I love it. I want it.
And that line on that dude's face with the elevator closing. Oh,
Yes.
that's like one of my favorites right
Getting
there.
them to stand out with that blue is so nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Contrast.
dude, this is one of the best panels in the book on the next page in the bottom corner here, where it's the silhouette of her face with all of the people in the back
Oh
of her
yeah.
mind. That is
Yeah.
such a cool way to cover that idea. I've never seen
Yeah.
anything like that. That is so smart. I'm
Yeah.
gonna steal that.
I'm gonna steal that. There was I remember like a graphic design piece for Red Dead Redemption, like the first Red Dead Redemption, and it was John Marston walking, but it wasn't him in detail. It was like all the characters in the game and like crazy like bits and pieces within that silhouette of
Oh,
him. And
oh,
I've always wanted to do something like that. It's
yeah.
like it needs to be like that's so iconic. I fucking love it.
I'm
So
so into
it's just
that.
great design. Great design. Fantastic.
Mm.
But yeah. Then we go back to freaking TV announcing everything.
Building up that like,
Yeah.
that continuity, that background lore that's going on with,
Yeah.
just having the people speak, to give that perspective on a
Right.
street level of what's actually going around in Gotham. It's just so
Yeah.
rad, so smartly done. Yeah, the masks again. That mask allegory, no one was ready for it.
That
Mm.
Wonder Woman sweater. That's a nice sweater. I'd wear it. I'd wear that sweater.
Yeah, she looks comfy.
Yeah.
I'm just also like perpetually in love with the way the old woman dresses, who runs
Yeah.
like the fence. Just like wearing all
She's
the
got
like
like
bootleg,
construction
like
worker
high
vest.
fashion streetwear. Like I love that the shoe brand is Speed Force.
Right.
That's rad. Yeah.
The helmet is that's. See, I can record you while you're in there. She's like, no, I'm
How am I
not
supposed to
wearing
do
this.
parkour in a Halo helmet?
Yeah. Oh, Master
It
Chief.
simply won't work.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Gotta make it count. Yeah.
Breaking into Ace Chemicals. Yeah.
Dude, what a cool looking building.
Dude, I'm
Like,
into pipes and tubes, man.
yeah. Look at that. That's so great.
Pipes and tubes are so fire.
Just
They make everything
pipes
look better.
everywhere.
Because you're like, what are all those pipes for? Where do they go? What goes inside the pipes? Doesn't matter.
I want to
The
know.
more of them, the more important the building is.
Yeah.
That's just building science.
This is science for buildings.
That's just math. Dude, I love Killer Croc in the wetsuit coming out
Yeah.
of the suit. He's like,
Ocean Master. Yeah. Splash. Or sploosh. Just
hmm.
feel the weight.
I remember stopping while I was reading this for the first time just to stare at this panel with them running across the bridge. Like I love that
Yeah.
perspective, the amount of detail and
Tiny.
depth. Mm,
Yeah.
that's some good perspective.
And more pipes.
More
You know,
pipes
they got you on that one.
and the greens too. I think the greens just work
Yeah.
really well, especially on the next page where they're still running through the
Yeah.
pipes and the tubes and everything.
Like a dirty factory. You know, like he's choosing that, you know, he's making it feel like a factory that's been in use.
And of course, like, what's
There's
cooler than like robbing a place and then like base jumping off the side with like your parachute, and like
Yeah.
landing in water and then like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want a whole fleet. Like, there's nothing cooler in a heist than the vehicles. You know what I'm saying? You base
Yeah.
jump. There's a van or a boat or a jet ski, and you like run away.
It's
It's
Point
like,
Break, right?
oh
Like,
yeah, dude.
come on now.
Dude, fucking
It's
Heat,
amazing.
man, where they're just like getting into
Yeah.
the vans at the end of the police. Oh yeah, it's rad. It's
Yeah.
so sick. Dark Knight in the beginning of that, where they're all
Yeah, I
ziplining
was
into the
literally gonna
thing.
say, yeah. And then the
Mm,
school bus. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, come on.
it's all about vehicles. You got to have a fleet if you're gonna do a heist. That's just the rule. None of this
Uh,
baby driver one car bullshit. I'm talking a fleet of vehicles.
yeah. Because no one can recognize that one red car that keeps showing up.
Well, Baby Driver's for another day. I have my thoughts about that movie, but
No.
not.
Anyway.
Long story short, not a huge fan, but it's for a different day.
He does keep using the same vehicle, right? I'm not
Yeah,
misremembering
well,
that.
no, it's like just through the one. Like it's just that one heist is basically the whole movie.
Oh.
So he's in that red car. They switch into another car in that like later in that
Okay.
scene, but it just takes a long time.
I was thinking he used it for this. Anyway, yeah.
No.
We'll keep going. Ivy is like, oh my god. Yes.
Chef's kiss, the woman of my dreams.
Right.
Yes.
What a way.
Beautiful, powerful
What a way.
woman. So inspiring.
That's right.
Big
Yeah.
fan.
She's a
Big
goddess.
fan.
Yep.
And I love that she's like a drug lord, but it's just like for coffee, basically. She just has like a whole
Yeah.
compound.
Yeah.
She's in Ivy. He's like, Killer Croc is like, hey, Ivy, you got a bathroom? He's like, just go piss in the plants, basically.
He's like, with all the skeletons and shit around it. She's like, I'm kidding. Don't piss on my floor, you animal.
I love how gracious and like loving she is in these sequences. Like they're just
Yeah,
old
exactly.
friends. She's super sweet and gracious and just like a wonderful host.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also like you got to have these moments of peace before shit starts to go wrong,
Yeah.
like to really bond
You're
with
connecting to them
characters.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have those quiet moments with them. Build up that relationship. So then when shit goes south, it hits you even more.
Well, it's because
Just
like
how
there's a false belief that you think, oh, if they can be calm and everything can be good right now, then that means that will apply to the future. It's like they, there is light at the end of the tunnel and things will be better. Like, isn't this nice? But no, you still got to do the job. Like, you still got to go through with the heist.
Yeah.
And then, of course, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Let me get it.
I love the coin in the glass jar.
The only choice. I was like, what a slogan. Wow.
With the bloody hand with bits of glass in it.
It's going Leonardo DiCaprio mode on that one.
Well, it's an important detail too because that's his like clean hand. That's his non-zombie hand.
Oh, that's
and it's covered in blood.
Yeah, it's a good catch. He's literally like, I was thinking about this, where you know how on Dark Knight Returns, where it's like Harvey Dent is basically like committed to being Two-Face, and Batman is now committed to being Batman. Like, there's no other choice, right? They're just 100% those characters now. It's like he is becoming that in this scene. Basically, it's like I am 100% like the bad side. Like there is no going back to the good or whatever, or this whole charade kind of thing. At least that was my thinking on it.
100%. No, I just wasn't talking because I was drinking water.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree 100%.
It's like when I just keep going back to that whole bit in The Dark Knight Returns when he's looking at himself in the mirror, and as in one panel we see the fixed up version of Harvey Dent, like he's like the clean looking guy now. He's got clean skin, but he sees the monster that he is. Like he sees just the scarred up Two-Face guy.
And I love that that's like, the perpetual struggle with Harvey Dent as a character is like the two sides of him. And like this book like really plays into that very well because like it makes you think that he's turned over the new leaf, but then you see that slip in that battle page over page through his story.
Yeah. It's like as soon as that coin is introduced to him, he's like, I'm back.
Yeah, we're back, baby.
He's relapsing, man.
Dude, and then the prison sequence. How rad is that prison flashback?
The color choice. Yeah, like just the orange jumpsuit, and the texture on it too, like the slight. Is there a texture? Or am I crazy?
I think it's just really. Like painted textures on their clothing, like and on the tables and stuff, and how she's got to defend herself, and she's still Catwoman, so she can still kick ass.
Yeah,
dude. Of course, prison movies just make me think, but Brawl in Cell Block 99 is on Netflix.
Oh. God,
I love that movie.
The movie rocks.
Dude, I love that John straight up did not have a good time when we were doing that, watching that movie. He was like, that movie was weird. I was like, no, that movie was awesome.
He watched it with us?
Yeah. He was not having a good time because it's so grotesque.
Great.
Dude,
I love that movie.
Movie's brutal.
Vaughn as a freaking like brutal guy is such a good take. I love it.
Because when the gore happens, man, it happens. Like when he just like breaks that guy's face, and just like drags it on the concrete. Dude.
Oh my goodness, yeah. This turns into a grindhouse film for those bits.
I mean, that's like literally what that movie is. It's just like you don't believe it for like the first like hour, and then the last half hour, you're just like, oh my god.
Whoa. There's not even a hint of it in the beginning.
It's like very a gritty crime movie. You're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. then that happens. I'm like, holy shit.
I don't
But
know
dude,
how they rationalize it or explain it, but taking away the green skin tone from Ivy in this next page did things to me. I'm just like, yeah, I want that.
It's all tatted up and stuff. Yeah, good. It's just so funny too. Like, wrap it up, Ivy, and she's just making out with one of the chicks in the background.
No one can resist.
I mean, I get it.
Well, that's like a really cool way, like, because that's a common trope with like Poison Ivy's character is that femme fatale, that seductress, but like showing her as like, you know, this powerful person who's just warm and gracious and very three-dimensional, but then also can just like pick up any chick she wants. It's like,
No.
it's very rad, very in character, you know. There's not a stretch or any weird like fan fiction element to that.
Yeah. And dude, we got the motherfucking King of Gotham here too. Like that's probably one of my favorites of Croc. Yeah,
The lifting belt.
Yeah.
Lifting 2 tons.
Yeah. Ooh. Throws it. Get Clayface.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, stealing a piece of Clayface is a great, like, basically, like, he's pooping. Like, oh, the pain! I know that's probably not what his voice sounds like in this book, but that's my headcanon forever.
Instead of that foul cobbler, do you let the supervisor know, won't you? Like, you hear it. You can't get away from it now.
Mousse and chocolat! Would that it were a weekly treat!
James Gunn! Yeah, great.
Oh, man. Sit on my face, James Gunn. You know, yet another little heist. The crew works together, get another piece of the puzzle. And the bat tunnels, dude, with that like truck train thing, dude. I don't even know what that is. That thing is fucking sweet.
The truck train thing, yeah,
dude. Look,
it's almost like a go-kart,
yeah,
but on tracks, or a jet ski. I don't even know. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Take notes for the metro stuff we do.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Dude, I mean, there's just gotta be.
Yeah, there's gonna be stuff. There's gonna be a fleet of vehicles on tracks.
Yeah.
Believe you me.
Oh, dude, you've played Metro. I've played the shit out of Metro.
Oh, yeah, dude. This game's ripped.
Fucking love that game. But anyway, yeah, the cops. I love the design of these cops.
The Bat Cops is crazy. I love all. We didn't talk about it, but we've definitely glossed over a bunch of those panels. But the POV shots that they have with the red like scanning. Yeah, dude.
The RoboCop scan.
That shit rules. Always effective.
Dude, and it's so funny too that it's like these guys are now have the bat like ears, but they're also using a weapon that Batman was like not into.
No, yeah, they're killing people straight up.
Yeah, literally. Like, oh, I guess we'll just kill everybody. Like, you know.
Again, the commentary about how Batman as a symbol is used for fascistic reasons. You know.
Yeah.
I know.
They're literally just running with it.
Yeah. The cruel irony of it all.
Yeah.
Braka, 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 braka.
Yeah.
And then we get Killer Croc's valiant sacrifice here, man. This shit tore me up.
Yeah. No.
This is where it has to start, man. People gotta die, and he was the first one, so he's got to be the first one, you know.
Yeah.
And I used to be the king of Gotham. Dude, putting out of his misery, the blam. Like, tell me that's not one of the most like fucking Frank Miller ass panels you've ever seen. That lettering.
It's so good with the little smoke and the freaking shell just.
And the light from the panel underneath that. Oh, that's. So
She's in the darkness, dark moment, you know. Yeah.
And giving Killer Croc that final resting place, like. You know, giving him one last panel, like he did it. He shared that between the two of them. Really let that moment sit. It's a valuable use of page space.
Yeah. super good. And then back to it.
And how they spin the narrative on the next page of how they were trying to free inmates, and that's like their excuse, like, oh, this is gonna become a bigger problem, you know, that we have to come together for the greater good. It's the only choice.
Right.
Is he at war with us? Oh, such good commentary, such fun politics. The way they're both spinning their narrative and like using it to push their message. Really well done.
Yeah. I mean, it's very on point right now too. Like, it's kind of
so appropriate.
Didn't even realize that until now. I was like, wow, we are
deep in
with
it.
the times, I guess. Yeah.
And in their moment of mourning, what happens? Catwoman and Eddie Nigma hook up.
Yeah, they do.
They do the deed.
Look at his eyes when they kiss too. He's like, oh.
Like all small and big. Riddle me this one. What's that bulge in your pants? Is that a roll of quarters, or are you just happy to see me?
It's a roll of quarters.
I love, I mean, it's Black Label. You gotta have some people boning, right? Like, if you're gonna take advantage of this format, you gotta have some people boning. And that's just the way it works. And it's a sweet moment that, you know, I mean, odds are she hasn't gotten laid in a decade, you know? Good for her.
Right. It's like, can we just, why not? But Cliff Chiang does it tastefully, right? He's not like overly sexualizing like Catwoman or whatever, like the 90s like comics would, you know?
No.
Like, this is just like, okay, you know what happened. You know, the subtle details. We don't need to like show her in the those poses and stuff. It's just like, you know.
We don't need robust curves and titties out, you know? We don't. Yeah. This is Catwoman, please.
This is Catwoman, please.
Just classy. I love the nighttime coloring too. The purples and the blacks just work really, really well.
Fantastic.
1 week to election day.
Yeah, I also just love Selena's hair in this.
I've been thinking the same thing. Yeah, it's that white strip.
Love that short hair. Yeah.
Her,
love it. I've been doing that a lot recently, so
it works.
Yeah. But goodness, and now they're just like having fun in the middle of this like heist that they're about to pull.
Yeah. Oh, this is like an easy one. This is like, oh, I'm just doing some art thieving. I know how to do this. Like, I feel like there was no need to dwell on it because this is just what Catwoman does: is steal valuable pieces of art. Yeah, and leaving the Catwoman mask is just a great little touch. Like, you know, the mask of Orpheus. I love the twist of this. I did not see that coming where they take it to Jason Blood and he smashes it open and it's Dr. Fate's mask.
Right. I was like, whoa!
So cool. I get so excited when Jason Blood makes his way into like any story. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as he pops in, I'm like, oh, it's demon time. Let's go. Like, I get so juiced.
Dude, when that sequence happens, I love that sequence.
We're almost there. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Right now, we just gotta tread through some waters of a little bit of fascism on the rise.
Yeah.
The crowd with the masks and the contrasting masks with the back cops, and like they're big and in frame, and then it cuts back, and they're the cat people are smaller in frame. But you still get the shot of the feet with the wheelchair, and I love that shot because it looks like Batgirl's boots, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I loved that. I caught that and I started getting hyped. That
was cool. And then that reveal, like he's on top, you know, he's on the high ground.
He's on a tank.
Death stare. Fuck you. Fucking bitch.
He's like, what are you gonna do? I'm in a wheelchair.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna kick your ass. And then all the disguises that Selena's doing. And it's just like putting on a wig.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, they've got facial scanners, so obviously a wig would cover you.
There you go. Well,
It's that easy. Well, I mean, they do have the facial scanner kind of trying to read her on the next page, and they're like, "Wait a minute," and then the back cops are like, "Whoa!"
And she's like, "Yeah."
But
so fast, Kappa.
This is the only page that kind of caught me off guard. Like, this is the only thing that made me go, "Huh?" Was basically like they live in a hyper technologically advanced like police state where like the bat cops have face ID scanners on them and there's cameras everywhere and everybody's being monitored and like all the time. And she's like, "How did they know? It must be a mole." And I was like, "What?" This was the only time where I was like, I mean, I get that, but like this was the only time that the seeds were ever sown for that. It wasn't something they like hinted in, like any initial paranoia or anything like that. It was the only thing that like I was like, huh, and like I get like to add a little bit of conflict, and then get him and her and Nigma pulled apart, and then have them come back in the end and kind of save the day. Like I get that like as a cool narrative device, but I just didn't really buy it when she kind of makes that whole turn at the end of this issue or the beginning of the next one, where she's like, "Edward, you stay here. I don't trust you," basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you could argue that it's fairly on character for Catwoman to be distrusting of people.
Right.
Like, I don't think that that's controversial, but I don't know.
I get you. I'm smelling what you're stepping in, dude. I'm also like, maybe she's kind of out of touch because she's been in prison for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's just like, I don't fucking trust this for a second. And like, she just makes those snap judgments out of like survival instincts.
Yeah, like maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Which is fair.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't so out of place that it like ruined anything for me, and I was like, this book sucks now, or that's stupid. But I was like, it made me go like, what? Like, I didn't come to that same conclusion.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a lesson to take away from like any piece of writing is like, it's one of the hardest things about writing like a detective sort of mystery book at all, is like creating a puzzle that like the audience is putting together at a concurrent pace with the protagonist of your story. Like, you never want the audience to put the whole puzzle together beforehand, but you don't want to have them not even understand what pieces they're looking at, like, so like pacing that, delivering that information is like really, really difficult, like truly. So this wasn't bad given that kind of idea, but what a great scene. Like, I mean, and here we go, like, the violence is kicked up, the stakes are high, people are actually getting beat up and assaulted by police officers, and that's real, that's scary.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
It does kind of suck. You're right.
A little bit, not chill.
It's definitely not chill. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
If I could describe police brutality in a word, it would be not chill. It's definitely not chill for sure.
Oh man. Yeah.
More news. So good. And you just see Harvey unraveling. It's great. I love it.
Oh yeah.
The fact that they get the DNA off of the guy is hilarious with the coffee cup.
Right.
And then it's like he does his part of the job, and then this is when she's like, "You're out. It's done. Like, don't worry about it." Like, she doesn't say like, you fucked me over or anything like that. She's just kind of like, "Nope. Why were the cops there? What's going on, huh?" And then like, "Get out of here." So it like that could also just read as her being overly like paranoid or distrusting. Like, again, like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also, when that happened, that made me think like, well, what if is it the other guy? Like, is it her? Is it Winston? Like, is he the one?
That's
like,
what I thought too.
I was like, is that what they're
kind
of
makes us like distrust everyone else a little bit? So, kind of does that. little thing, but you know. Oh man, dude, the colors on this page with Harvey doing a toast and shit. Goodness. With all the oranges and what have you. The blue. Just complementary colors going on.
And again, you know, what smashes the glass but his clean hand again.
Uh-huh.
And then like he asked them to turn off the lights so he can like sit in darkness, and then we go into those mirror shots again. And then like the opposite of that Dark Knight Returns shot, he sees his human face in the reflection in the dark.
Yeah.
It's like what
He's
he
I'm a
wants
good
to
man,
believe.
my good side. Yeah, I'm a good guy, right? No.
And then the context of the Fool's Night, like again, oh, you know what? Batman describing himself as an orphan in this page, in this moment of peace, where they're talking about, you know, if I didn't do this, it would be, you know, if I did dream, it would be with you, you know.
Yeah.
And like maybe that's your kind of key connection to that Orpheus metaphor here, is
Yeah.
describing himself as the orphan. Um,
True.
you know, and
And
then you
he
put
keeps
that
coming back to
position of
Selena.
who's
Yeah.
Who's Orpheus and who's Eurydice here is like, you know, could be interpreted
Oh.
either way.
Ah. Good.
I want to see this in more comic books. Like this was so rad, taking Clayface's face and like
Dude.
like rubbing DNA all over it and turning it into another
Yeah.
face. That was fucking
Just
rad.
the Mission Impossible bit right there. Just
Oh yeah.
using
MI3 with
Clayface.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
He's like, take the night off. And they're like, yeah, let's go. And then the one guy's like, actually, this doesn't feel right. And he's basically just like, you're an asshole.
I fucking hate you.
It's like, why couldn't you just let us go to the game, you dick?
You dick. Oh
Hmm.
man.
Catwoman with this cape, this poncho vibe with the metal detector is rad. I love her in that poncho.
It almost she kind of. I know this isn't what's happening, but it almost looks like a Segway. You
I thought it was a lawnmower when I first saw it.
Yeah, she's just
I was
cutting
like,
grass.
yeah, she's now she's cutting the grass.
It's part of the heist. You know, you got to cut the grass for this puzzle.
I was like, she's not dressed like a landscaper. Is that a disguise? Oh, it's a radar thing. Okay. And yeah,
Oh,
it opens. Fucking rad. That huge tunnel. It's rad. Jason Blood. Etrigan comes out.
when he just falls into a pit of bones, you know, you're just like, uh oh.
He's like, and he says goodbye to them. Like he's like, oh, I'm gone
Yeah.
now. Now you got the demon.
Yeah.
Like I'll see you.
She's like, I'm so sorry, and then boom.
And this is like when the like I love like, you know, obviously Etrigan the demon is like a classic Kirby design. Like this is all Jack Kirby.
Which he took from a story that he loved, which is interesting. Because there's yeah. It's a dude that's haunting people with the mask of the demon. In this story, he's just like haunting this like mansion, but he's just a guy wearing a mask doing all these things from back in the day, and it like terrifies everybody.
Oh.
But Jack Kirby took that, and I forget who the artist was, but he took that for inspiration and then made him like an actual demon, and spruced it up a little bit. But I thought that was pretty sick.
Even the crackle on the page too, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. The kayfabe guys talk about that on one of their videos to it.
And I love too, like once the demon comes out, that's when this book, like we were saying earlier, just goes full comic book.
Crazy. Yeah.
This is like now we're just into the mystical and super powered fucking batshit stuff. Book 4, The Underworld.
Here we go. Then we go back. Fool's Night. God.
Those colors, dude.
Gordon. He's balding. He's bald.
Save your friend or save the city. And of course, that's a no-brainer
Even
for
you
Brucey.
can have it all. Yeah.
And I love that that he calls him Bruce under his breath, like
Bruce. Yeah.
I feel like by acknowledging that it's Bruce, like that's the Joker acknowledging that he's gonna die too. Like, you know, like that's such a powerful, like, subtle detail where he's like, now I'm calling you Bruce Wayne, and that means it's over for both of us.
It's over. I'm done. We're done. I'm breaking up with you.
We're over.
Basically. Yeah, it's basically what he's doing. If I can't have you, no one can.
God, I love Etrigan the Demon.
So beefy.
So beefy.
Man, you made him so freaking chunky.
I
love that.
The trick tunnel is one of the coolest details.
An enchantment. I like how Ivy brings up, like, didn't you used to rhyme and stuff?
Doesn't he basically just say, like, only sometimes?
Yeah, because he's what? For valorous deeds on earth, I am stripped of rank and shunned by my inferior peers. So he's basically like, because I'm stripped from that ranking, I'm not rhyming anymore. I guess.
I'm no longer a fly MC who gets to spit mad rhymes.
You're a fly MC.
Yeah, you too. No good deed goes unpunished. The truest of words, human. Yeah, the trick wall sequence is really interesting. Like, you know, just Batman, like, playing with mysticism and magic. It's funny to me. Illusions. They're called illusions, Michael.
Open sesame.
Nepoemasis. And we get that, like, the Zatanna thing was just like a funny connection. Like, he says the magic words and it wakes up Zatanna. Like, at least my interpretation, and maybe I'm misremembering how this went, but, like, the Zatanna connection was, like, she was the one who put the curse on the wall. Like, to make it magical. And, like, it, like, stuns her, and she's like, huh? And then the magic kind of, with the sparkles from her panel, trickles into the panel below it. It's like, poof.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I'm like, I know this is a character that I am not familiar with, so
Batman and her have, like, a relationship. Like, whenever he dabbles in the magics, Zatanna is involved. Except for, like,
when does that happen? Is that New 52 stuff, or is that before that?
Justice League Dark.
Justice League Dark, okay.
That's like Batman and Etrigan and John Constantine and Zatanna and Deadman and some others.
Oh, is that in the animated movie?
Yeah, they do that in the which is that's also New 52 animated stuff. Because that all happens after Flashpoint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read much of that.
The animated movie rocks.
I did watch after I think like 30 minutes or whatever. I started watching it with you. That one time.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 John Constantine, like, Justice League Dark movies, like, from that DC animated timeline. They're all pretty fire, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
From what I saw, they were pretty sick.
Again, DC killing the cartoon game.
Dude,
can't make a live action movie to save their life sometimes. But, like, in terms of their comic output and their cartoons, miles ahead. Yeah. That's what pisses me off about DC. I love them so much. They just can't get their fucking cinematic universe right.
Right. Yeah.
Except for very rare instances like Black Adam, which is a 10 out of 10. No. For those of you at home, we are Snyder Cut fans, though. So
it's true.
Big fan of the Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League trilogy.
Yeah. It was cool. Besides the Martha part. Martha. I didn't like that.
Why'd you say your name?
Yeah. You know my mom? Like, no, I don't.
That was the dumb part. And like Jesse Eisenberg is stupid. I understand where he was coming from, but I don't like that. But overall, I would say like about 2/3 of that movie are fucking kick ass. So,
Yeah. The fight sequences, and then when
dude, Darkseid versus
Batman goes
Superman
in.
too.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then when Batman saves Superman's mom, dude, when he goes in and starts busting ass,
Damn,
kicking, whipping, and snapping, it
this
was
is just
sick.
making me want to rewatch it.
Yeah, the Bat Flack, dude. I'm all about the Bat Flack.
Dude, such a good Batman. His movies hit or miss, but him as Batman, kick
Him
ass.
as Batman, super cool.
S tier Batman.
He looks the bit.
I'll say A tier Batman. There's only one true Batman. His name is Kevin Conroy. But then everybody,
Yeah,
but in terms of as a Batman, Ben Affleck. His movies different,
yeah.
but like
Different. Yeah.
But
It'd be
anyway,
like that. Yeah. Back to this.
back to this dude. Yeah, getting through this secret giant door. The fact that Etrigan's got ice powers to freeze the waterfall, and like this whole sequence of getting in here, rad. While and like juxtaposing it with the flashbacks of the night, like in the fight with the Joker, and how I love this sequence with her and the gun. She was ready to shoot him, and it's just the bang. Like,
Yeah. Yep. He knew. Goodness.
there's no rhyme or reason to this world. It's all one big joke, and I'm so tired of laughing.
Bruce get. I can imagine the Snyder cut, slow motion.
Well, it's also
Hallelujah.
Yeah, Hallelujah in slow mo. Try not to play the song Hallelujah in a Zack Snyder movie. Challenge impossible.
It's like it would be perfect.
Oh man, God, I love that it's like the DNA like activated thing with her on that batarang and how like her fingers need to be on it to like put it on that thing. Like that just rocks. Like that's like I don't even know how Batman like the reverse engineering to like design this. I don't even understand how Batman made it. Like you know what I mean? Like
Right.
But it's perfect.
Alfred, help. I mean, he's a freaking billionaire, right? So he's able to get all this like 3D freaking cement printer stuff, I'm sure, and get it all magicked up. I don't know,
Dude. And like this sequence where he's handing it to her. Should have trusted you more. You know, like that's like that real like you should have been in here. I should have let you in. And he's like that means the implications of this are that Selena Kyle's the only person that he trusts with all of the secrets of the Batcave.
Yeah,
like that's pretty significant. Like not even like the Bat family could get in there.
Yeah, just his gal, you know. She's the one.
She is the one. Smackety smack into the wall, jumping down, and we're in the Batcave. And that like that reveal of the Batcave. I mean, all the bats coming out. Like
Yeah, of course.
Of course, the people see all the bats and they're like, "Oh, Batcave's open now. We know that now." But like this reveal of them getting into the Batcave, so rad. Like it feels justified. It feels like they earned it. It's big. It's monumentous. It's iconic. The penny, the dinosaur.
The dinosaur.
It's all there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got it all. His little trophy room. And the old school Batmobile at the very top there. That's great. Oh, and you see I didn't realize that before. You see like the Michael Keaton Batman freaking mobile right there. With the fins.
Oh, good eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not even catch that. The penguins from the Iceberg Lounge are in there.
Yeah.
That's really sick.
Giant coin.
Hell yeah.
Gotta have the dinosaur in there. Gotta have it.
10 years of decomposition and bat guano. And then like Poison Ivy has the plants. It's just like suck all the bat guano out of the air and like ground. Dude, the freeze gun, the Catwoman mask, and the jewel, it's full of memories. Oh, it's so good. God, that's so good.
Orpheus.
Yeah, opening the Lazarus pit is pretty cool. The Orpheus pit.
Dude.
How he was able to heal Alfred, but it would kill him, right? Like it's not a stable way to heal people.
Yeah. And he tried to balance it with Bane's venom, but that did not go to plan.
This is
go, man.
yeah. That's the I think that's a really interesting metaphor, symbol, idea. You know, just that he tried to utilize the things that he hated to like save the people that he loved, but knew the drawbacks and it wouldn't keep him forever.
Yeah.
Not being able to let go of Alfred, man. That's always like a very powerful motif in Batman stories.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he just gets that final moment with him. It's good.
My dear boy, I'm ever so proud of you. And then the lily dies.
Yeah.
Bruce wanted me to bring him back to revive him so he could fight again for a week or however long he'd have. The cape came first, and I knew that, and yet nothing else mattered. Nobody else mattered, not even me. That like real thing, like it's about the fight. It's not about the future. It's not about peace. The dream that she was told about by Bruce on the rooftop doesn't necessarily exist. Yeah. It was just a fleeting moment. All of this is fleeting moments. Like time is this unrelenting force and people may not change, and it's heavy, man. It was great. And then of course they're just like, all right, that moment's over. Harvey Dent's on a train on a tank.
Yeah. Just standing on it like a dictator. Yeah. Yep.
Just like Croc's such a chatty guy. And then here we go, the fight with the freeze gun. Rad. Etrigan as a demon. Love that. Fucking rips off the dude's head and is like eating.
It's like going at his spinal fluid is what I'm thinking is happening right there.
Viscera are just like spewing out of his mouth. Etrigan. Etrigan.
Yeah.
Clarion. I don't know anything about this Clarion character, to be completely honest. That was the one part where I was like, I think this is like a whole thing I don't know about. And then the Kirby crackle that like makes him explode and turn back into Jason Blood.
Yeah, dude, the transition is so freaking crazy. It's just covered in blood.
And this is again this fourth issue where it just all turns into this madness of just like Kirbyisms and fighting and crazy magic and superpowers and
I love it.
Just only an earned climax throughout the rest of the pressures of this story.
The plants, they come out and start killing people.
Batman's fear.
The umbrella.
Oh, the fear gas, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you, officer. What's wrong? The maggot spewing out of his eye. Rad. And then, of course, Poison Ivy. She's got to sacrifice herself, man. Everybody's dying.
It's like, no, not Ivy, no.
Because Catwoman represents, like, this enduring spirit, you know?
Yeah.
That, like, everyone believes in. Like, the city's going to be okay as long as we kind of align ourselves with your values of, like, standing up for yourself and protecting the little guy and doing what's right even if society tells you that it's wrong. Like, Catwoman's kind of like the perfect anti-hero in this framing, right? I'm not going to say that being a jewel thief is morally correct, but like it's more of what it represents.
If you're helping out the poor people, I mean, no.
Yeah, but Catwoman didn't always help out the poor people. She just like collecting shiny things.
Yeah, that's true.
She's not perfect, you know, and this book wouldn't claim her to be. And she's like is winning this fight basically worth it? Is it worth jumping into this Lazarus pit and like getting this like 10 minutes, hour of fighting?
Right.
Or, you know, is just ending, not letting them get access to Batman stuff, basically like the true moral position to take.
Yeah.
I mean, dropping the grenade belt into the Lazarus pit is fucking awesome. What a
Yeah.
cool way to go out. Just blow it up. Don't let anybody have it.
Yeah.
But-
Which I feel like Bruce was probably like, you're gonna like get rid of everything, you know.
And yeah, knowing Batman, that probably was his intention all along. And I think that that's kind of the
I
point
can't do
here,
it.
is not that
Yeah.
like, you know, she thinks that this was just Batman's ploy to save himself and push off her, you know, and the reality of that scene really makes you feel that. And then when she comes to this realization and learns everybody else died for this, like this is what we're all dying for. This is actually the fight, you know. This is like not misrepresenting what Batman stood for, and like not being fascist Batman bat cop thing, but like actually like doing what Bruce believed in and like saving Gotham in like a financial and economic way, not like a I'm gonna dress in a cape and beat up bad guys in dark alleys every day for the rest of my life kind of way.
Right.
What a sick sequence with all this blowing up and going down, man.
Yeah. And then that strong black silhouette of the gun framing everybody.
And of course, she's ready to go out, man. She puts on her mask.
Yeah.
She's ready to say goodbye, and then boom, Catwoman Jr., Edie Nigma, saves her. They pull her out. That's because Edward Nigma figured out how to get into the Batcave with the piano notes and the grandfather clock.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
Fucking genius.
Of course, I love Edward Nigma. We didn't talk about it too much, but just like Riddler talking about in that scene where they're like catching up in the bar, like, you know, I thought I was a good match for him. I thought I was doing like the right thing. I thought I challenged him. You know, we had a good thing going. Like, I love that. Like, that's such a fun way to view that.
Yeah. Oh man. Gosh. Acrobatics going on when she's catching the gun and then rolls off, and you know, that's great.
Yeah, kicks him in the face, hits him in the eye.
It's good eye too.
Beating the shit out of him too. This is for Croc and this is for Ivy. Crack, crush, crum.
Just that parallel with everything crumbling down. She's beating him to a pulp. Great.
And then, of course, do what Batman would have wanted. Get Harvey Dent in prison. You know, because of that, Barbara Gordon wins. You know, we got the inclusivity. We got people of color, gays, straights, all there supporting Barbara Gordon. She wins. Tomorrow we begin the monumental task of rebuilding Gotham, a more just and compassionate Gotham that offers hope to its future while honoring its past. As my father always said, we are stronger when we are kind to each other and unbeatable when we stand up for each other. Like, great way to catch all these themes in the book and tie up all these loose ends. And I love that Ivy grows into a tree in Wayne Manor. Like, that panel is fucking beautiful. That's dude. Awesome. Again, this book is deep. Like, these are the things when people are like, "Oh, I read comics, but I don't read that big two shit. I don't like superheroes. That shit's lame." Like, this book is literally dealing with fascism and corrupt cops and dirty politicians and hope for humanity and dying for what you believe in, and like, you know, all this political commentary, all these moral kind of quandaries, all this gorgeous art. Like, how can you look me in the eye and tell me that this book is not good? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is this book not worth your time? This book is fantastic. Like, truly, like, we didn't get too much into this when we were talking about this, but like, this is one of the most impressive comic books of the last 5 years. Like, truly, like, I think it's like of the year it came out is worth like being one of the, like, cited as one of the best comic books of its year, whether that was 21 or 22. Like, this book is incredible. This is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hits all the notes, does all the homages, really has a good message behind it entirely.
It's an absolute thrill ride. Great character piece,
Yeah.
great empathy and love for all of its characters. Love for every panel that was put on the page. It just no notes.
Yeah. No notes.
Except for the one note we had with the like mole sequence. That was my
Yeah,
only note. That's my one
the
note.
only note. Yeah. But even then,
Even then
still
I'm
fun.
like, I get it. Like I understand where it came from. I disagree with it. I don't think that it was an error, which is an important distinction. Like I have my opinions as an artist and a writer myself. Like would I have done the same thing? No, but I also probably couldn't have written a book this good. So like who am I to say? Yeah. Um we can all play armchair critic and like armchair writer. Well, if you had just simply like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna claim any high ground over Cliff Chang. He's a genius and incredibly talented and put in just unbelievable amounts of hard work to make something this big and impressive. And he deserves all the credit. He deserves all the praise. He is amazing. Congratulations, Cliff, on this book and this
Correct.
huge, beautiful hardcover collection. You getting more than just releasing a comic, but having a comic released in this like fashion, like this beautiful of a hardcover, this quality of paper,
Dude.
that's a feat unto itself. It's very, very great
Right.
work. I hope you
Good
got
job.
a pat yourself on the back, Cliff Chang.
Pat yourself on the back.
Stand up
Good
and
job.
take a bow. Yeah, these covers are these covers are great. I love the one with her in the ice bath. That one rocks. It's
Yeah.
like Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, like on display on top. I love this process piece where you get to see the script. Like when you look at the script and hear him talk about, the editor talk about this and everything. Like this was all planned. This was all like with minor changes, like kind of sprinkled throughout, like mostly to dialogue. Like he knew everything. Like that's such a rare thing. I mean, that's something you can only do if you're like writing and drawing and coloring and lettering, like that you would plan everything out in this kind of detail. And also just to get your editors on board. Like imagine being an editor and getting this book and you're like, yeah, I mean, just make that, I guess. Like what notes do you give to a man like this?
Right. Just he's prepped and ready.
And all of these killer concept and process pieces, we love some good back matter. I like that he went with the short hair on Barbara Gordon. He was playing with those longer hair concepts. I think that worked really well. Yeah, I love all the designs for all the characters, all the things like he was playing around with. These character sheets just look great.
Yeah. Super good.
What a great book. Guys, if you want to read this book, you know where you gotta go? You gotta go to your local comic book store. We're in North Carolina. We love places like Acme Comics. Heroes Aren't Hard to Find in Charlotte. Ultimate Comics in Raleigh is a good spot. If you have other comic book shops that you want to plug and you want us to shout out, let us know. Put them in comments. Put them in, on chat, on stream. DM us. Talk about us in the Discord. If you got a place we should go wherever in a city that you got a good comic book store, shout that shit out. Go see those people. Talk to them. They'll give you some good recommendations. They'll tell you to read this book because it's amazing and it's in this beautiful hardcover and you want this on your shelf in this prestige plus size and edition. It's fantastic. Go to comic book stores. Find like-minded people who also like comics. Talk about comics with them.
Make comics.
Please. Draw comics. Write stories. Do cool shit with your friends and with other like-minded artists. Publish it yourselves. Don't feel like you have to be doing anything for Big Two to make it like you mean it. We do tons of indie comics on this stream. I think that's all I got. Any closing thoughts for you, May?
Follow us. Follow our Discord channel or join that. Follow the YouTube channels. What's the Mouthbreathers channel?
It's just Mouthbreathers Guild.
Mouthbreathers Guild. Go on YouTube, follow that. Follow the man who draws. We do these every Wednesday, diving into comics, and then of course I am diving in while also making things, but also pretty frequently drawing on stream. So follow us, follow Ben Hill. He's a good guy.
Follow Sam T. Lamb. He wasn't on this stream. Hasn't been on the last few streams. Follow Nate G. Draws. You can follow me. I don't post that much comic stuff on my personal stuff, but Kiwi Spicy on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Twitch, all of it. I'm there. I like talking comics. If you want to talk comics with me, you just gotta, hit me with a comment, hit me with a DM.
Yeah.
I'll talk comics.
Oh, how about that Substack?
Oh yeah, we do have a Substack. I'm bad at posting to it, but it's just Mouthbreathers Guild on Substack. I'm gonna be posting there more. Just kind of talking art, talking comics. We'll have a TikTok soon. Mouthbreathers Guild on TikTok. We love comics. We love making comics. We love supporting other people who make comics. If you make comics and you want us to look at that shit on stream, we might do that. We'll give you a shout out. We've got tons of talented friends who make comics. We're going to highlight more of their work as things go, as time moves on. We're going to have more comics coming down the pipeline later this year in 2024. We're going to be at Heroes Con. We don't have official confirmation, but we'll definitely be there if we're tabling or not. Just because it's great. Yeah. So Heroes Con Charlotte, great con. Shout that out.
Oh yeah. That's the best.
The best. It's the best.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We'll call it here. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep drawing, but enjoy.